Saturday night college basketball live from the McCarthy Athletic Center in Spokane, Washington, home of the Gonzaga Bulldogs, now ranked number 17 in the country, 2-0. Welcome inside the McCarthy Athletic Center, where they welcome in Utah State, the Aggies, out of the Mountain West Conference. It's great to see everyone again. I'm Greg Heister, along with Dan Dickow and Richard Fox. And gentlemen, Dan, we start with you. Is Coach Few happy with the start of his team?
I would think so, because they've been pretty dominant. Although it's been against less than stellar opponents, they've got some questions that must be answered. I think tonight you'll start to see those.
Yeah, I mean, coming into the year, one of the big questions was what kind of depth would this team have, particularly considering how much they lost from last year. Zach Norvell, the freshman out of Chicago, has been that scorer off the bench. 11 field goals attempted per game against Howard, led the team with 18 points. Rui Hachimura, you're starting to see why NBA scouts are starting to take notice. His athleticism in transition. He's excellent inside the three-point line, 10 of 14 on the season. And Jakob Larson, really an unknown player after tearing his ACL coming into the last season. What was GU going to get? They've gotten a dominant rebounder on both ends. Of the 16 rebounds he has this year, Greg, 7 come off the offensive glass. He's been a nice lift off the bench.
And for Utah State, I think when Gonzaga put this game on the schedule, they were hoping for a test. They still may get one, but if they do, they're going to have to get it without Kobe McEwen. This kid has been everything for Utah State, the reigning freshman of the year in the Mountain West Conference. He's got a wounded ankle, a high ankle sprain. He will not play in this game.
Well, that is a big loss for Utah State for sure, because as you mentioned, Greg, he's extremely versatile. He can score in a number of different ways, but that doesn't mean the cupboard is bare tonight in the backcourt at all for the Aggies and Coach Durea, because D'Angelo Isby is in the building. Actually leads them in scoring this year at a shade over 15 a game, and he's been even better in the last 2, where he's averaged over 17 a game, shooting it over 53% from the field. Gonzaga hasn't had the challenge of a big perimeter scorer such as Isby at this year. Gonzaga's going to have to do a great job on him tonight.
It could be a great test for the Zags tonight, game number 3 on this season. The Zags in this dunk machine are ready to go. The Aggies are up next. Starting lineups, the tip-off when we come back.
Monica, it is absolute chaos out here. Gale force winds, accumulations up to 8 inches. Don't know if you can even hear me.
What's he doing?
Can we get a shot of this cold front right here? Winter has arrived. Woo!
Progress is an unstoppable force. Brace yourself for the Season of Audi sales event. Audi will cover your first month's lease payment on select.
Brought to you by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. Northern Quest is your ultimate destination for fun. Experience true Vegas-style gaming. Stay in a luxurious hotel, see a spectacular show, and eat in the finest restaurants all under one roof. Visit northernquest.com today to learn more. And a beautiful evening in Spokane, Washington. Zag fans ready to go for this matchup between their Zags and the Aggies of Utah State. Time for tonight's starting lineups. Brought to you by Numerica. Zag fans, show your Bulldog pride with your Go Zags debit card only at Numerica. D'Angelo Isby, Dan highlighted in the open. Offensively, he's the best. Sam Merrill, though, going to be an important player in this game. There's Tim Durea, the head coach, now in his 3rd season. He's a longtime assistant for Stu Morrill, the Hall of Fame coach that used to run this Utah State program. So he's got a lot of years of history with this program. Gonzaga and their starters, Perkins, Melson, Kispert, Jonathan Williams, and Killian Tilly round out the front court. And, of course, the head coach, Mark Few. His 19th season, 505 wins now. And we're just about ready to go. It'll be Alex Dargenton tipping off against Jonathan Williams. Greg Heister, Dan Dickow, Richard Fox. We're courtside, and we're underway. Williams, great look inside, great catch by Tilly, and it's 2-0 GU.
Good patience.
You saw the early double and a great recognition, but an even better cut and catch by Tilly for the finish.
It doesn't work if both guys aren't in sync. And right there, that's a great tag team inside from Tilly and Williams.
Porter Jr., number 30, on the floor. We'll talk a little bit about him in a moment, but he's the one replacing Kobe McEwen. He's a redshirt freshman, a walkout for Utah State. Perkins with the basketball. To the post, Tilly went for the jam, and he was blocked and fouled by Alex Dargington, but he met him right at the rim.
Well, I would love to get another look at that one. From my vantage point, it absolutely looked clean. I think the Utah State bench has every right to be upset about that call. Holy cow.
Great play on the weak side, coming over to challenge the shot. Tough break for Utah State.
Tilly at the line, averaging 8.5 points a game, 6 rebounds. Just his second free throw of this season.
Hey, you mentioned, Greg, it's only second trip to the free throw line of the season. Would not have expected that out of Killian Tilly at all. Gonzaga now a little three-quarter court press.
That's a good look if you're GU. You want to test the ball handling for Utah State, given how depleted they are in the backcourt.
Here's Hisby. Brown, a big physical kid. Porter Jr. now. 6 on the shot clock. Merrill's jump shot is pure and good, and Utah State hits. Williams at the other end can't hit it, and Porter Jr. the rebound. And he races. Blocked! Boy, the Zags were a little late getting back, but when they finally got there were 3 of them to contest that shot.
Well, Porter Jr. did a great job probing in transition, but you're right, Greg. They recovered quickly. Multiple Zags there to send that out of bounds.
There's Merrill, who just hit that 3, threw it to the rim. Brown with the rebound. Kick out, Isby's first look. Off the front of the rim, Williams the rebound. D'Angelo Isby, 6'5", 200, a junior out of Chicago. Perkins over Porter Jr. in and out. Rebounded Dwayne Brown. Brown drives on Tilly, missed it, got it back. Merrill now drives on Melson. Brown from the corner is good.
And that's what you're going to get from Brown. A little bit of everything. Versatile, undersized 4. Occasionally will shoot it from the three-point line, but really wants to put the ball on the deck.
Here's Kispert looking for his first shot. Nice move, falls off, but the putback is good.
You see Kispert misses it initially, but that's his 7th offensive rebound on the year. A tremendous rebounder at that wing position. And we've seen him do that, Dan, a few times. Anticipate the miss and go clean it up.
Isby working on Kispert and scores.
This would be a great early career challenge for Kispert to go ahead and guard somebody as good as Isby.
And the reach and a foul called. That'll be the 2nd on Utah State.
Right here, just from a crossover, be a little bit of a push from Isby, but that's a tough finish. And that's an area where Isby struggled to start the year. Sub 38% from inside that painted area. That's a nice, tough finish for the junior college transfer.
And you get the sense already, if you throw Kobe McEwen, who averages almost 14 points a game, into this lineup for Utah State, this could be a real battle tonight with him on the floor. It may still be one.
Well, I think what this Utah State team presents for Gonzaga, as Kispert misses from 3, is a bigger backcourt than what they've seen this year, and quite frankly, a more organized offensive attack as well as defensive attack.
There's a travel. Dargington with a little stutter in that step before he dribbled.
Well, to your point, Dan, Gonzaga's been tested at that point guard position with Jefferson at Texas Southern, and then Cole with Howard. They haven't had to face a backcourt with this kind of depth and size and skill level. This is a really good look for them heading into Portland next week. And you can tell right away, Utah State's not getting sped up with the environment, the pace of the game. This is a pretty mature ball club in the backcourt.
Giving him a different look defensively as well with 1-2-2 zone on this possession.
Williams with the drive.
It's like an offensive foul.
And they did call an offensive foul.
Looks like the right arm came out, maybe a bit of a hook.
That is the first on Williams, first on GU. And Rui Hachimura checks in for Jonathan Williams. And you see the numbers from Kobe McEwen that are not in the lineup for Utah State. And it'll be up to Sam Merrill and D'Angelo Isby to maybe even project higher than their normal output.
It's not just McEwen scoring, it's the fact he's their primary ball handler, gets them into their stuff.
Here's Brown, double team there. Merrill Isby from the corner is good. And it's 11-6, Utah State to start.
And a nice in, you get the ball inside, and credit Merrill with the nice touch pass, didn't hold on to it, moved it quickly, got the open look in the corner for Isby.
It's an 11-2 run for Utah State. Nelson, step back, 17-footer won't go. Kispert with the offensive rebound. He was blocked by Brown, but he's fouled under there as well. 15:48 to play, and Utah State has come to play. They lead by 5. And welcome back to the McCarthy Athletic Center. Time now for tonight's keys to the game, brought to you by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. And the first key is to dominate early. And gentlemen, that hasn't happened, has it?
Absolutely not. After getting up early, Aggies on an 11-2 run, but they also must defend the three, which they haven't done well yet. Aggies 3 for 4 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, finally, you have to get the ball inside. If you're GU on the year, you're over 60% inside the arc. Don't settle for early, quick threes in this ball game. Force Utah State to have to defend around the rim.
And gentlemen, Corey Kispert at the free throw line, about to attempt his first free throw on the season. Freshman from Edmonds, Washington, averaging 11.5 points a game.
Surprises you a bit, Greg, that he's just getting in line given how physical he is.
It's crazy.
Competes on the offensive glass, but what a start for a freshman year. Shooting 64% from the field, 5 of 9 from the three-point line, and obviously gets it done on the offensive glass as he knocks down the second.
Well, that's part of the learning curve for a young player such as Corey, who's always been such a dominant shooter, is learning to find ways to impact the game, and that's getting himself to the free throw line.
Porter keeps it alive. Blocked by Tilly. Perkins picks it up, but a foul is called. Zag fans don't like it. Calls on Josh Perkins. His first.
Well, they thought they had the turnover. Tilly comes up with a heck of a block, and then in the scramble for a loose ball, Perkins is called for the foul. Didn't look like much of one to me, but we can't argue it now.
Darren Henson and Quinn Taylor on the floor for Utah State. Taylor is number 10. Henson number 23. This is Taylor. Merrill, quick three over Hachimura is good. His second hit from behind that arc.
That's a tough cover for Hachimura. Merrill, a bigger wing player, but he's an excellent three-point shooter. 45% last year from three. You've got to stay attached. You can't help off.
Perkins wide open. And it's a three-point game.
The best shooters on the floor go back-to-back on the year. Perkins shooting 53% from three, so a nice response for the Bulldogs.
Here's Merrill. He'll shoot it again from three. He's hit three here in the opening 5 minutes.
I'll tell you what, if you're going to go in and have an upset on somebody's home floor, you've got to have somebody step up. Right now, early in this game, that is Merrill for Utah State.
And Perkins fouled on the drive by Porter Jr.
Well, a little probe here from Isby. Nice skips the floor with the pass, and that's just solid basketball. A little dribble towards the baseline, a little back, steps back to the three-point line. That's decent defense from Nelson, but that's what Merrill's looking to do. He's just deadly from that three-point line. You've got to stay attached.
The Aggies with a 6-point lead. They've hit 6 of their first 11 shots. Gonzaga's hit 3 of their first 8. But Utah State 5 of 6 from behind that arc. Zach Norvell left it for Hachimura. The lay-in there, 4-point game.
And that's what I think he will become more of for Gonzaga, that Zach Norvell, by making plays out of the pick and roll for guys.
Well, coming into tonight, he and Perkins lead the team with 8 assists. He's not just looking to get his own offense. He's already shown the ability to get his teammates easy shots.
Merrill drives right at Hachimura. Left hand falls off, cleared by Killian Tilly. Norvell Jr. into the corner. Melson transition three is long. And rebounded by Crew Ainge, number 4. And we know that last name, don't we, Dan? You played for the Celtics. You can tell the story.
His father, Danny Ainge, president of basketball operations for the Celtics. Crew has been on an LDS mission for 2 years, just getting his legs back. Excited to be a part of Utah State's program.
3-on-1 there results in a lay-in for Zach Norvell.
It's something Utah State can't afford to do. They've done a nice job early on the glass. They've made open shots. They can't turn it over. This GU team, more than many we've seen the last few years, is excellent with that transition from defense out onto the fast break. And here, just kind of careless with the handle. An easy 2 points. Ainge kind of just with the run by, not trying to pick up the cheap foul. You can't afford to do that if you're Utah State. You got to protect the ball.
3 turnovers for Utah State and just 1 for GU. 13:23 to play first half. Guys, you want to be tested in these early games, don't you?
Well, I think you have to, especially because of what the schedule becomes next week. You go to the PK 80 down in Portland, which has 2 separate brackets of 8 teams each, but 16 of the best teams in the country. Gonzaga kind of gets a great buy in Ohio State, who's been down with new coach Chris Holtmann as opposed to years past, but then they're going to play the winner of Florida Stanford, and then if they get by that, possible matchup with Duke is looming, and then after that you've got Creighton, you've got a matchup with UW, who everybody knows in a rivalry type game.
Villanova.
You know, you've got a lot of emotion. Villanova in New York, you're right.
And there you see the opening rounds in that PK 80 tournament that's looming for GU. There's number 22 Brock Miller into the game for Utah State. Diogo Brito in there as well, number 24. And that shot falls off the rim and a foul called on Jakob Larson.
Not only is it a challenge for the guards to guard against better perimeter scorers with size, but I think for the bigs as well, Richard, is the fact that Jakob Larson has been playing against second-level bigs who are also smaller. This time, D'Argento backs him down as a nice up and under. Jakob Larson hasn't been put in a position where he's been put in foul trouble yet.
Yeah, and he's done a nice job the first 2 games handling the pick and roll, but Utah State, to your point, Dan, is going to throw the ball inside a lot more than GU's already seen this year. So a guy like Jakob's going to be tested on that low block.
3 team fouls on GU. And no problem with the pressure. Kispert. Melson, lob it, Hachimura. The catch and flush.
Great finish from Hachimura, but credit Melson with the dive. That's a tremendous pass over the top of the defense.
Part of the reason it's so good is you just know you can throw it up to the rim about 12 feet high.
Boy, how did Riotto get that pass? D'Argenton couldn't finish. And back comes Gonzaga trailing by a point. Norvell for the lead. Bang!
That is a great shot for Zach Norvell. At times early in this season, he's pressed to look for his scoring. We talked about how good a playmaker he is out of the pick and roll, but that time, a nice trail 3 in rhythm.
And the foul called here on Zach Norvell with 12:06 to play first half.
I think they may have gotten Larson there with the block, Greg.
Was it on Larson? That's a second then.
Probably had your pick between both if you're the official there, but tough break for GU as Larson that picks up his second.
And Larson's out of the game. Kispert's out as well. Jonathan Williams, Tilly, Hachimura, Perkins, and Norvell on the floor. Here's Ainge, 10 on the shot clock for the Aggies. Shot is off, but tipped back in. Tied at 20. Williams fighting for position inside. Tilly sets the screen. Hachimura, the 3. Williams fights for the rebound, but a foul called, and this will go against the Aggies. And that gets us to a timeout. 11:25 to play here in the first half. This is tonight's Jimmy John's delivery. Order Jimmy John's sandwich delivery today. Jimmy John's, where fresh and fast meat. Tied at 20 in Spokane. Josh Perkins kind of thrusted into this position of having to be a leader. He's the point guard, right? And that's been who the leader has been for the Zach program for a very long time. We asked him about the duties.
I've always been a leader who led by example and did the right thing so my teammates could follow. But now I got to be the guy to say something if they're not in line, or be the guy who always not going to say the sweet things, but say the things that need to be said, And that's the thing I probably struggle with as a leader, just the confrontation, the constructive criticism. But I mean, we're loving it, and it comes with love. So I think we're heading in the right direction.
The point guard so often, because of the position that he plays, is looked upon for leadership. Is Josh the guy to lead this team?
Well, typically in great teams, the point guard is an extension of the coach. But I think if you look at this program over the years, their leadership have come from many different players and positions. I think Jonathan Williams has a chance to be a leader.
Wow, Clay Stahl went up and met Jonathan with the block, but he fouled Williams as well.
Yeah, second block tonight. Utah State might have an issue with that was called for a foul. But to the question of leadership, ideally it's going to be somebody in your backcourt that handles the ball a lot. They're going to obviously facilitate a lot of the offense. But to your point, Dan, I think GU has shown in recent history doesn't have to come from that point guard position. It could very well beat Josh, and I think part of the process of becoming a leader is identifying that you need to do it, finding your own voice. But I think for certain, Jonathan Williams is going to have a pretty large voice in that locker room as well.
Williams hits both free throws, giving Gonzaga the 22-0 lead.
We see this press again from GU. We've had some success slowing down the Aggies.
Isby fighting through and now sets up the offense. Ainge with it out on top. Merrill, he'll shoot it over Tilly. That's off. Hachimura had it. Brown's got it. Left-hand finish, good for Utah State, tied at 22.
But I tell you what, the actions offensively that Utah State is playing with is something Gonzaga hasn't seen yet, so it's a great test. And then throw on the fact that they're really getting after it on the offensive boards.
Yeah, that's
Gonzaga's going to have to match their intensity on the glass.
Exactly, Dan. 6 offensive rebounds for the Aggie, and they controlled their defensive glass, out-rebounding GU at the moment.
And Gonzaga's been plus 20 per game up till now this season.
That's Clay Stahl inside with the deposit through the rim. And the Aggies with a 2-point lead. Stahl adding a spark to the Aggies. He's only been in the game for a minute.
He's only played 11 minutes in the first 2 games, and this is what you need. You need Stahl, Ainge, other guys to step up when you're down. As you see, Merrill misses the 3, but you see the activity, the gang rebounding on the offensive glass. Tough finish inside for Brown. Those are the types of plays you've got to make on the road, try to get the upset. And so far tonight, first 10 minutes, Utah State has done what they've needed to do.
That foul called on D'Angelo Isby. That's his first and team's 7th. According to the official stat machine, there should be a free throw coming here. And it looks like Killian Tilly will shoot it for GU. Tilly with 4 points. Make it 5. Tilly's perfect. 6 points to lead GU, and the game is tied again at 24. Here's Brown. inside. This kid can finish.
Great interior defense there, and then just a breakdown by Norvell in allowing the cutter walk freely to the rim for the catch and the finish.
Perkins to Williams. Jonathan. Boy, they're all over him. 3 blue jerseys surrounded him. Jonathan got the shot off.
Well, Stahl did a nice job with that initial defense. It's Brown who came over to give the assist there defensively, and you just see how active the Aggies have been here to start the game inside.
Poked away by Williams. Jonathan with quick hands, and Perkins now in transition. Into the paint, the lob up. I thought he threw it to Williams, maybe not. Either way, it's a foul and a free throw coming. It looked like he was going to throw the lob at Jonathan and let him finish. Ball may have hit the rim, or was it a shot? Dan?
No, that was a shot.
Okay.
If there's one aspect of Josh's game he's continuing to work on and improve, it's his ability to finish when he gets in the lane. He's become an elite catch-and-shoot spot-up three-point shooter. His ability to expand his game and finish is going to be a key piece for him as well as this team as the season wears on.
And I mean, you look at it coming into tonight, 9 of Josh's 10 field goals come from 3. He's got to find some balance to his game. Damn point.
Jonathan came into the game 9 of 20 for the free throw line at 45%. He's hit his first 3 here today.
You love the fact he's getting to the line. I mean, really, when you look at the lineup for GU, as he misses the second after Greg chooses yet again to discuss his free throw shooting while he's at the line. But, you know, if you look at GU, really, Williams is the guy you know night in and night out is going to put a team. Look, coach is talking about making winning plays. Here's Merrill, makes himself available. GU had great initial defense, got the Aggies in a tough spot. Merrill makes himself available to his teammate, continues to move without the ball, and Zach Norvell falls asleep, got quickly pulled after that to get some coaching on the bench. But if you're Utah State, you're trying to pull off the upset on the road, it's more than just making shots. You've got to make some of those winning plays, and right there, that's a great example.
Utah State has made 6 of their last 8 shots and 7 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, 12 second chance points, Greg.
They're just playing harder.
Just a lot more lively. I mean, shot goes up, they're not done competing.
Brito for 3, that one's off. Henson the rebound and a new clock.
And look, this was something we talked about as early as exhibition, Dan, was what kind of rebounding team was this GU edition going to be? And they've shown the ability to rebound, but boy, tonight it has cost them in a dear way. As
Darren Henson.
Yeah.
Henson now into the three-point barrage business. And Utah State 7 of 12. And 5 different Aggies now have hit a 3. Tilly with the answer there. But the Aggies just outscoring 3s to 2s right now, and they lead it by 5.
And extra possessions, forcing Gonzaga to guard defensively.
Brito, you saw Taylor flash through the middle. Shot from the deep corner over there, Brock Miller missing, and Tilly with the rebound. Williams. Tilly, flush!
That's the second great connection, Williams to Tilly, when the double begins to come.
And it's not a double team, but Williams just draws a lot of eyes. You know, guys lose track of who they're defending, and credit Tilly for moving without the ball. And Williams, he's getting into that offensive move with the thought of dumping it down to Tilly.
Brock Miller from the corner, and another one. 8 of 13 now are the Aggies of Utah State.
Well, that's just a freshman mistake there by Kispert. bluff the big up top and stay home and connect to
you've got to know, in the corner. You've got to know who Miller is. 10 of his 14 shots on the year from behind the three-point line. That's all he does is look to score from three. You've got to stay attached and trust your teammates to handle that dribble penetration when you're guarding a three-point shooter.
And no surprise that Utah State was going to come into this game tonight and shoot the three. It's what they do. They've just been smoking hot from out there. 8 of 13 now, 61.5%.
This program has been one built under Stu Morrell that always values smart offensive players who can execute sets and then great shooters as well.
Yeah, and they've got a history of being really effective, efficient offensively. Last year led the Mountain West a little over 46% from the field. So they've got a track record of searching out good shots and knocking them down.
Another rebound there for the Aggies. Out-rebounding Gonzaga 16-9. And Brito walks right in and scores with a little scoop.
And you see what the three-point shot does. It forces Gonzaga to have to overextend a bit on the three-point line.
Jonathan Williams up strong, and he scores. Williams with 5.
Tough finish, Greg. A lot of contact, no whistle. But you see Williams' strength able to finish through the contact.
And the offensive foul called. Five turnovers now for GU. I'm sorry, for Utah State. 6-point game, under 5 to play first half. Here's Tilley, out to Williams. Taylor knocked to the floor, no whistle. Here's Perkins from the corner. Good.
And again, when Josh Perkins gets his feet set and catches it in rhythm, you can almost just add 3 points.
And a reach by Josh Perkins. He doesn't like the call.
Against the zone, Silas Melson collapsing it with dribble penetration. Perkins, as mentioned, hands and feet ready on the catch, letting it fly.
That's 2 fouls on Josh Perkins. He'll go out of the game with 4:23 to play here in the first.
But he's got to be smarter than that. Reach 35 feet away from the basket, pick up his second foul.
Norvell Jr. way flush with the hammer. But Tilley with the defense took it away, and fast break points.
It's 10 points off turnovers now for GU. For Utah State, you just can't afford those silly turnovers that just open things up for Gonzaga on the fast break.
Brown into the paint, falling back, short. Gonzaga ball. The energy moving back towards the Zags here at the McCarthy Athletic Center. They're on a 7-0 run. They trail by a point.
Let's get the big guy in place.
The Ford year-end sales event is here.
I can guide you in. No thanks, Santa. I got this. It looks a little tight. Perfect fit. Santa needs an F-150.
That's Ford, America's best-selling brand. Hurry in for 0% financing for 72 months across a full lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get 0% financing for 72 months plus $2,000 bonus cash or $11,000 total value plus $1,000 Black Friday trade assist on F-150 only at your local Ford store.
Brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is excited to be a seasoned sponsor of Gonzaga basketball. We're committed to our Spokane communities, offering time and dollars to organizations and causes that team members and customers are passionate about. And welcome back to the city of Spokane. Zags trail Utah State by a point, but making a run here at the end of the first half. Greg Heister, Dan Dickau, Richard Fox. Utah State has hit 8 of their first 13 attempts from behind 3. 16 rebounds to 10 for GU. That's really been the difference, those two statistical numbers to me.
Yeah, and I think if you're Utah State, you're thrilled with what you're getting from your bench. The last 15 points for the Aggies have been from their bench.
Williams. Boy, he was backed out of there by Taylor. Made a 6-foot shot, a 10-foot shot, and changed the outcome.
You know, Williams and Tilly, they have the length inside, but you've got to tip your hat to the Aggies. They've been very physical. They're getting to spots early, forcing both those guys to have to shoot over a body.
Isby has been quiet, just 5 points, but coming early for Utah State. Merrill to Brown, there's his, whoa, they wanted to go to Isby, now he's got it. 10 on the shot clock, going at Tilly. Step back three is off. Norvell with the rebound, and his head is up. Ball deflected. Nelson trying to keep it alive. It's a loose ball picked up by Tilly. 12 on the shot clock. Here's Melson. 17 feet, good. Silas's first points.
That's a shot I don't know if I've ever seen him take and or make, but great job with the shot clock starting to wind down in a scrambled possession, pulling up, knocking it down.
Brown. Ainge for three is off.
You're starting to see Gonzaga's intensity as well as their attention to detail and rotations come together on the defensive end.
Norvell can't hit the shot. And Ainge out of there. He'd be smart to slow it down here and wait for his teammates.
Yeah, for the Aggies now, you need good offensive possessions. There's a lot less to do with getting the bucket and forcing Gonzaga to guard deeper into the clock. You want to stay connected to Gonzaga going into the locker room at halftime.
Here's Ainge. Stall inside to Brown. He's fouled by Silas Melson, his first, and that is the team's 7th. So a free throw coming here for Utah State. Correction, just 6 fouls. They're awfully fast tonight on this stat machine. I swear the whistle sounds and then bang.
Somebody will let you know.
Oh,
good or
I'm
bad,
sure
right?
I'll hear about it. I got a number wrong. Jeremy, that's what he does.
That's how he can make an impact on this ball club. Making plays on the defensive end and getting out in transition. Merrill, I've been extremely impressed. 11 points as we get another look at Jeremy Jones getting in the passing lane and finishing in transition. But Sam Merrill, he really brings to mind of a guard who might play at St. Mary's. A bigger guard, skilled, steady, good in pick and rolls, good shooter, good decision maker.
Yeah, I'd say he's had a nice evening so far.
Absolutely.
11 points, 3 of 4 from behind the arc, and he takes care of the ball. He gets his teammates involved, 3 assists. And Utah State knew they need him to have a big night tonight, given the fact they're dealing with some injuries, and he's done that here in the first half.
So that obviously was the 7th team foul on GU. Merrill, a good free throw shooter, hits the front end. Stall out, Taylor in for Utah State. Merrill can't connect on his 13th point. Big first half though for him. Here's Williams. On the shot clock. Jonathan in and out. Hachimura the rebound. Can't get it back up there. And Isby with the rebound, and he's on the run. Poked away by Jones. And then he's upended there by Jonathan Williams. The whistle and a foul called on Jonathan. And that is 2 on J3.
Crowd doesn't like the call, but I believe it's the correct one. Kind of upended Isby, putting him to the line for a one-on-one situation.
Isby, a 6'5", 200-pound junior from Chicago.
Well, we highlighted him in the open as somebody who can score in bunches, and Gonzaga's done a nice job on him tonight. 5 points, as you see there, only 1 for 4 from the three-point line. It hasn't been him that's done the damage. It's everybody else for Utah State.
Yeah, Merrill's been tremendous. The bench for the Aggies has really stepped up here in the first half, and you got to think a guy like Isby will find his rhythm at some point in the second half.
This can tie it. Tied at 42, 102 to play first half. Kispert picked up his dribble, got it to Melson. 15 on the shot clock. Norvell from the corner, long. Merrill with the rebound. And about a 10-second differential between the two clocks. Here's Merrill. He's 3 of 4 from 3. 3 of 5 now. And boy, he's crafty. Created contact there in the step back. Had a good look. The Zags won of their last 6 until then. Nelson, the three-point shot. Shot at the horn too hard. And Gonzaga leads at 45-42. So it was Utah State really lighting it up from behind the arc early, 8 of 17. But Gonzaga's Silas Melson ends that first half with a big 3 there. We're waiting for Brian Michelson, the assistant coach for Gonzaga, to get into position, and we'll talk to him now. Brian, I know you guys want to be tested a little early in these games. Is this what you had in mind?
Yeah, I think the staff knew this coming in. It was a group that could really shoot the ball, and unfortunately we didn't do a very good job taking that away, and we let them hit 1 or 2 early, and then boy, they got it rolling there. They run so much stuff that they can hit you from a lot of angles.
Brian, you guys have done a really nice job on D'Angelo Isby in the first half. You will let some of the other guys get away from you, Merrill and some of the bench guys. What's the approach at halftime? What are the adjustments?
We got to keep it up on Isby, but obviously Merrill really torched us. And overall, we got to take away their threes better, but definitely got to do a better job on Merrill. And then, the kid off the bench really hurt us. So we got to tighten up all of our coverages.
Brian, what's your message on the defensive glass here in the second half?
Boy, we better box out, especially Brown. He went and got a bunch of them, for as disappointing as giving up those threes were. They really took it to us on the glass, and we need to be tougher than that and get some stops.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, fellas.
Brown with 4 rebounds in that first half, but Sam Merrill, 12 points, 3 of 6 from behind the line, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Gonzaga led by Killian Tillies, 12 points. Another perfect game for him to this point. 4 of 4 from the floor. 45-42 our score after the opening 20 minutes in Spokane. Halftime straight ahead from the McCarthy Athletic Center.
The Louisville Cardinals class.
Gonzaga Hoops halftime on Root Sports is brought to you by the Northern Quest Resort and Casino. At the half, Gonzaga leads at Utah State 45-42. Angie Benchik here in the studio, and it has been a very busy day for us here at Root Sports. The final day of the Big Sky regular season brings us 2 of the best rivalries in the entire conference. It is the 117th edition of the Brawl of the Wild. 24-16 game in the fourth. Bobcats quarterback Chris Murray, he was straight on the ground in this one, and he takes it in from 4 yards out, and the Bobcats win back-to-back games against the Grizz for the first time since 02-03. The final there, 31-23. And just down the road from Gonzaga, Eastern Washington hosting Portland State in the Dam Cup. Football teams, they always practice the trip drill, and this is why. Early in the second, Gage Gabrude's pass tipped in the air, and Nick Splendorio holds it in and takes it to the house 60 yards. Eagles beat the Vikings 59-33. Well, back on the hardwood, it's Rui Hachimura, earning an early reputation as an electrifying player. Silas Belson with the diamond. Hachimura throws it down at the half. Gonzaga leads Utah by 3. We're back after this.
Really? Really? Really?
Really?
Really?
See zero in a whole new way. Get zero down, zero deposit, zero first month's payment, and zero due at signing on select Volkswagen models. Now with the People First warranty.
When you have doctors working as a team for your health, you get the care you need to help you thrive. We're Kaiser Permanente, and we're here to care for everybody in Washington. Visit kp.org/Hello Washington to learn more.
Gonzaga Hoops halftime on Root Sports is brought to you by the Northern Quest Resort and Casino. At the half, Gonzaga leads Utah State 45-42. You know, you still have 3 more chances to catch Gonzaga Hoops on Root Sports before Christmas. Our next broadcast is November 29th against Incarnate Wood. Then in December, Gonzaga hosts North Dakota and IUPUI. All right now we get you back to Kendall, Greg, Richard, and Dan.
Gonzaga certainly shot the ball well in that first half. 16 of 32 from the floor, 50%. 4 of 10 from behind the three-point line, which isn't bad. They lead by 3. Time now to take a look at our first half stats brought to you by the Coeur d'Alene Casino. And gentlemen, I know you guys love the numbers of basketball, and oftentimes those numbers don't lie. And when you take a look at them here, I mean, it kind of spells out the way this first half went. Utah State dominated in some areas, but then Gonzaga closed the gap with being able to shoot the ball better.
Well, the most shocking thing for me is Gonzaga being beat on the glass in that first half. Down 4, where through the first 2 games of the year, they were plus 20 per game. That's a stat that I guarantee is being addressed at halftime by Coach Few. And you touched on it in the first halftime segment, second chance points.
I suspect that the coaching staff may request that GU's guys play a little more physical here in the second half. But look, you protected the ball after Gonzaga, only 2 turnovers there in the first half. So you got in your stuff, you got some good looks. Credit Utah State for making your life a little difficult around the rim. But you look at converting it from the free throw line, it's really, quite frankly, I think an effort thing, being physical on your glass. If GU can do that, you would think they'd be able to pull away, maybe get the victory here by the end of the night.
And they were out-rebounded by 4, Gonzaga was, but they did close the gap in the final 7 or 8 minutes of that first half. So a lot to feel good about for GU. Of course, a big second half in front of us. Gonzaga leading Utah State by 3, 45-42. Thanks to that shot by Silas Melson.
Let's get the big guy in place.
The Ford year-end sales event is here.
I can guide you in. No thanks, Santa. I got this. It looks a little tight. Perfect fit. Santa needs an F-150.
That's Ford, America's best-selling brand. Hurry in for 0% financing for 72 months across a full lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get 0% financing for 72 months plus $2,000 bonus cash or $11,000 total value plus $1.
Casino. Join us at Coeur d'Alene Casino for a mouth-watering steak dinner, pampering spa treatment, or the hottest games around. Coeur d'Alene Casino, a proud sponsor of Gonzaga Athletics. We're winning. It's in our nature. And welcome back to the McCarthy Athletic Center. Gonzaga with a 3-point lead at 45-42. Greg Heister, Dan Dickow, Richard Fox are getting ready now for the start of the second half. The Zags trying to get to 3-0 on the season. This Aggies team came in here 2-1. Gonzaga knew it would be a tough matchup, gentlemen, and it's been to this point.
It has been. Utah State, physical, well-organized offensively, giving Gonzaga fits defensively. Should be a heck of a second half.
Second half, straight ahead, live from the McCarthy Athletic Center.
Jet Chevrolet needs to sell 100 new Chevrolets in November. That means big savings for you during Jet's Race to 100. Employee pricing. Plus, you keep the rebates on all 2017 models. Shop early for the best selection. Final prices are too low to advertise. Make your appointment today. 877-JET-CHEV or jetchevrolet.com. Lifetime warranty. Free oil changes for life. Employee pricing and more for your trade. Only at family-owned Jet Chevrolet. jetchevrolet.com.
For the Aggies of the
Welcome back to the McCarthy Athletic Center. Zags lead by 3 as we start the second half. It'll be Utah State basketball to begin it. And Merrill will be inbounding. Big first half for the Aggies. Gonzaga, though, ended that first half on a 14-3 run.
Well, they answered the challenge. They're about the 5-minute mark. The timeout. I'm sure Coach Few and the staff challenge him. Be more physical, continue to take care of the ball, and be patient offensively. We can get what we want.
Dargington with the basketball. Spent a lot of time on the bench in that first half for those early fouls. And Jonathan Williams just picked up his 3rd.
Interesting right off the bat, first possession defensively. Gonzaga decides to double the low block. Trying to create a turnover, speed up. Utah State inside, gets a tough break. Looks similar to Utah State in the first half on that end. Looked to be a clean block up top.
Dargington at the line, a senior out of Martinique. And we haven't really had the pleasure of using that word in a long time. Of course, the same place that produced the great Ronny Turiaf.
Yeah, one of a kind Ronny Turiaf, that's for sure. Dargington took a little bit different route to get to the States and play college basketball than Ronny did, but from talking to Coach Durea before the game, he said they've both been connected with each other. They've known each other for quite some time.
1 of 2 for Dargington. Williams out of the game. He's replaced by Jeremy Jones, number 22. Here's Kispert from the top. Too hard. Tilly fighting for it. And it'll be Gonzaga basketball. Brown has hit that sideline with possession. So give it to GU and a new clock.
Well, it's interesting. Jeremy Jones came in for Williams when he picks up the 3rd foul. Jeremy gave some good minutes in that first half. Had one on the line, up the line, shoot the gap, steal, leading to a transition bucket. But that's what he can do.
Here's Melson. Kispert will drive it this time. A lot of contact. Merrill knocked down, no whistle, count the bucket. Kispert with 6. Here's Isby driving on Kispert. Wild shot. Cleared by Tilly.
Just a force right there for Isby. That's too early in the clock to force something up like that. Be a little more patient offensively.
Perkins dribbled all the way down to the baseline. That's a mistake right there.
Oh, he dribbled to the baseline, picked his dribble up, and then after pivoting with defensive pressure, he had a layup. And he threw it out top to Tilly.
6 on the shot clock for Silas Melson. Shot away, no good. Tilly pokes at it. Loose ball controlled by D'Angelo Isby. 4-point lead for GU. This is Brown working on Jones. Brown into the paint. Spins. Again, a lot of contact. No whistles. Tilly with the rebound. Back comes GU. This is Melson spinning and missing.
Gonzaga just out of character on the offensive end right now.
And Brito scores at the other end.
In the possession before, Josh Perkins picking his dribble up on the baseline. That time, Nelson spin to a floater in transition. They've got to get back to being themselves.
Nelson got inside.
That's a better drive, more controlled to start this second half. Both teams trying to hit a home run offensively.
That last bucket by Diogo Brito ended a period of 7 minutes and 31 seconds without a field goal for Utah State. From the corner, Brown's 3 attempt is no good. Tilly with a great box out. Kispert controls it to Jones. Jeremy heads for the baseline, bumps into Brown. Nice catch by Melson. Here's Perkins. Again, knocked to the floor, no whistles. Dargington still on the floor for Utah State. Brown misses the layup at the other end. And back comes Jones. This thing has gotten really physical.
It really has, Greg. It really has. You've got to look to attack the rim. You can't expect a whistle. You've got to be able to finish through contact. Both teams have struggled to do that.
Tilly goes at Alex Dargington. Jump hook, long. Kispert over the back of Isby. And the score.
That's a grown man play right there by the freshman. Simply taking it away on the offensive glass for the putback.
Kispert with 8.
And 3 offensive rebounds tonight, Greg.
Merrill, great cut, but he can't finish. And Melson, they say his hand touched that net, went up through the rim. And so they call basket interference here. Let's take a look.
Here's Tilly on the offensive, on the low block, and you said it, Dan, just Kispert stronger than Isby there on the rebound.
But I'd like to take another look at that. It is a goaltend if you go through the bottom of the rim to block the shot. Here we get a second look at it.
Well, I think what he's saying is he touched the net, grabbed the net as a result, and that's an automatic goaltend.
Yes. Silas was thinking since he didn't go all the way through the net, it shouldn't have been, but that's not the case.
Perkins to Kispert. Josh the 3. Tilly another rebound to Perkins. And he touched the end line. It's been fast and furious and physical to start this second half in Spokane. Gonzaga leads by 4.
Where do I love to play, or where's the heart?
Back to tonight's Arby's fan trivia question is brought to you by Arby's, your delicious neighborhood meat crafter. Arby's, we have the meat. What was Gonzaga's conference affiliation when the Zags and Utah State last met in 1970? Was it West Coast, Big Sky, Division I Independent, Mountain West? Text your answer to 27297. We'll have the answer a bit later. Don't ask me if I know. Yes, I know. It would be bad to give it out.
Who's going to ask?
You guys ask me every week.
Sixth time they've met here, Greg.
Thanks, Richard Henson. Good look at it. And a foul called on Killian Tilly. He doesn't like it. That'll be his first, team's second. And the fans letting the officials know about it right now.
Shot goes up on the weak side. And just a little shove in the back as Tilly tries to back out the offensive rebounder. That's a good call, in my opinion.
Utah State has missed their last 6 from behind 3 now. Now 8 of 19 for the game. Brito into the corner. That shot is off by Henson. And another foul call.
And a foul you can live with it for Utah State. Miller gets caught trying to poke the ball away from Kispert, but you get back defensively, can set yourself. It's been the transition opportunities for GU that really hurts you in the first half.
Brock Miller picks up his first. Gonzaga with the ball on a 4-point lead. Hachimura. Great job to draw the foul on Clay Stoll, the redshirt freshman out of Chandler, Arizona.
And that was the best possession Rui has been involved with, where he had a good change of speed, change of direction on the cut, made himself available on that little shuffle cut, and then attacked the rim off the catch.
It's been remarkable to see how much more effective he is without the ball. Last year you saw, you saw glimpses of his talent when he had it, but this year, much better understanding of what he needs to be doing when he doesn't have the ball on both ends of the floor.
Hachimura with 5. I love the physicality in which he grabbed position on the post. I mean, he went in there like a man that time and grabbed that spot. Here's Merrill. Miller from the corner. And he gets the bounce.
And that's the second time tonight. In the first half, Kispert overhelped off Miller. There you saw it again on that dribble penetration. You need to stay attached to Miller as Tilly misses the 3 at the top of the key. That's just taking the scouting report, Dan, and applying it to the floor.
Absolutely.
Gonzaga now 0 for 3 this half from behind that 3-point line. Here's Miller with Kispert all over him. Perkins poking at the ball. Brito with the handle, drives against Tilly and scores.
Tough finish.
Great finish there. Brito playing quite a few minutes as a backup point guard with Abel Porter Jr. back on the bench.
And a great screen from Stahl as well.
And Tilly left wide open.
Brito's got a unique game. European background. Portugal played for the national team at his age. You can tell he's got a different approach than a lot of college freshmen.
And Brito just threw the ball off the foot of Josh Perkins.
Excuse me, sophomore, not freshman for Brito.
Brito, 11 points, 5 of 6 shooting, 4 rebounds. And Tilly checking out for GU.
Those are the efforts you need, Greg. On the season, Brito only has 4 points coming into tonight. The bench production for the Aggies has really been remarkable. A lot of different players have stepped up.
Merrill missing again. Hachimura, the rebound. Merrill could hardly miss in those first 10 minutes of that first half. He struggled from behind the arc since then. Williams dribbles his way out of trouble. Perkins into the paint. The finish. And a chance for 3.
His best attack off the bounce tonight, getting himself into the paint. But finishing through contact, that's something that we've talked about is an area of improvement that needs to be addressed in his game. There you see, nice little finish through contact, chance for the three-point play.
He's going to get opportunities like that with the way he shoots the ball from 3. And that dribble penetration should be there for him. He just has to convert it at a higher clip when he looks to attack at the rim.
Josh with 9 points now. Only Killian Tilly has scored more for GU with 14. It's a 6-point Zag lead. Brito. Nice catch. Brito falling away too much. Perkins pushing hard. He'll shoot it. Short. Williams the rebound, but a foul called, and that is 4 on Jonathan Williams. And he looks with dismay at the official. But he's got to come out of the game and replaced by Killian Tilly. Melson out as well. Zach Norvell on the floor for GU.
Let's take a look at it right there. That doesn't seem like a whole lot.
Dargington was off balance anyways. Yeah. That's not a good call. What do you think, Dan?
I agree with you, Greg.
Okay.
I'm sorry, all 3 of us agree?
Yeah, I know.
Dargington seemed to be a little bit off balance. Williams fighting for position, little bump. Made it look even worse than it was.
Dargington on Tilly. There's good defense. And a great rebound. Perkins. Norvell Jr. He'll go to the free throw line.
Much quicker with the decisions on that possession by Gonzaga, starting with the pick and roll pocket pass by Perkins. And I think they need to get back to that. Quick decisions, ball not sticking in anybody's hand. When they made that run at the end of the first half, I thought the ball was moving side to side good with quick decisions and then decisive attacks.
Yeah, that was one of the big takeaways we had over the exhibition. The first 2 games of the season was how crisp GU looked offensively. The ball never really got stuck anywhere on the floor. There have been stretches here tonight, Dan, where the ball really hasn't moved all that well. That was a good example of GU moving the ball around.
And this 8-point lead for GU, their largest lead of this game now, as we near the 12-minute mark of the second half. Porter Jr. back on the floor for the Aggies. This is Merrill working on Jones and scores.
He has been impressive tonight. Obviously hitting it from the three-point line, but that time taking it to the cup, finishing with the left. 16 points now.
Norvell Jr. hunting a shot. Hachimura drives. Brown the rebound.
Good take, just unable to finish. It's Hachimura, but again, another good possession where Gonzaga moved the ball side to side as we have a foul on Brown on the ball screen.
Sam Merrill trying to keep Utah State close. Working on Jones, scored with the left hand.
Leaves fall, crowds roar, and the winds of winter are at the door. Are you ready? Can you get to where you go? Rain or snow, day or night? Yes, you say. I drive a Toyota, and everything is gonna be all right.
Discover Toyota.
At the Athletic Center, time now for tonight's Arby's fan trivia question answer. Gonzaga was a member of the Big Sky from 1963 to 79. The Bulldogs are one of the conference's 6 founding members. The answer was Zags, too. 11:30 to play. Gonzaga now leading Utah State by 6. And really, Utah State has been a second-half team. They've outscored their opponents by 12 in every game tonight. They're being outscored by 3. And it's Zag basketball. Perkins. Here's Hachimura.
Utah State had some success, Greg, in the first half with this zone.
5 on the shot clock. Perkins off balance out of that corner. And Utah State with a chance to trim a 6-point deficit.
A little confusion as to whether it was man or zone to begin with. Doesn't necessarily matter. As long as you run your stuff with precision, execution, good spacing, you can run most things man or zone.
Isby missed the contested shot. Tilley with the rebound, his 8th. Norvell Jr. inside, missed it. And Merrill controls it for the Aggies. Here's Porter. Merrill drives, bangs into Tilley. Count the bucket. And a foul on Killian Tilley. That'll be his 2nd.
Craftiness by Merrill there in transition, getting his shoulder into Tilley, who wasn't quite set and in position.
That's it.
Kind of a 50-50 play, but take advantage of it. Finish through contact.
Tilley's thinking to himself, my hands are straight up, but he's moving as the contact's made, and that's, to your point, Dan, a crafty play for Merrill. He makes sure that the contact's obvious before he gets the shot up. He gets the benefit of the doubt, and what a night for Merrill. 18 points, 7 of 13 from the field, as well as 4 assists. He's chipped in on the glass as he knocks down the free throw.
And it's a 3-point game.
It's been interesting to see how Utah State's handled that point guard position with McEwen out. It's been Porter, Brito, and both those kids really short stints, but effective when they've been out there on the floor.
Kispert right at Brown. It fell off. Tilley has been a man on the boards for Gonzaga.
That's 9 rebounds now for Tilley.
Here's Isby. Drives on Kispert. Wild shot. Hachimura the rebound.
Oh, go, Bulldogs, go!
Tilley. That's short. Kispert and Isby battle. And Merrill picks up the loose ball. Down by 5. Merrill with 19 points as he throws it to the post. Merrill, this to tie a career high. And he missed the 3.
So you caught a break there. Perkins got caught watching Taylor inside. Didn't stay attached to Merrill. That's a good look.
Melson with great vision from Perkins. Melson buries the 3.
It seems as every time GU needs a bucket tonight, it's been Silas Melson to step up.
Absolutely. You saw in the first half, and right there, much needed 3-point shot.
Silas Melson, 10 points on 4 of 8 shooting. He's 2 of 3 from behind the arc. Perkins found him in the corner, and it's an 8-point Zag lead. Utah State by 8 with 9:04 to play. Time now for the Alaska Air upcoming schedule. Enjoy low fares to amazing places. Alaska Airlines flies at connecting Spokane to over 100 destinations, including Costa Rica and New York City. Book now at alaskaair.com. Ohio State is next, part of that tournament in Portland. The PK 80. And then it could get really serious. Ohio State with C.J. Jackson and a new head coach. Buckeyes have had some great teams over the years.
They have. Chris Holtmann, though, first season after replacing Brad Stevens at Butler, made the move to Ohio State. Maybe not what Ohio State has been in years past, but they will be a good program.
Here's Isby, poked away from behind by Melson. And Tilly with it. Cy with a lot of big plays tonight for this Zag team. Kispert faked the three, driving the paint, scores with the left hand.
That's showing something we haven't seen yet this season. The shot fake attack, but the ability to change hands and finish with the left.
Here's a ball poked away. Can Perkins score? Got it away, it rolled off. Melson cleans it up.
Another big play by Melson. Perkins getting in the passing lane with a steal, but unable to finish with hearing the footsteps behind.
2-3 zone here from GU. Let's see how Utah State reacts here offensively.
And now you hear the fans behind us as they get involved. And a whistle and a foul coming against GU inside. 7:45 to play in Spokane. Gonzaga leading now by 12.
Cheers, ladies. We should do girls' night out more often. Yeah. What about hubby? Oh, he's totally good with it.
How is that not holding?
Where's Gary?
Saved money on motorcycle insurance with Geico. Going up the country. Later, Gary.
I have a motorcycle. Wonderful.
Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
The sun burns at approximately 5,500.
Healthy smile is a powerful thing. Find the easiest way to take care of yours at DeltaDentalWA.com. With easy online tips to keep you and your smile strong all season long. Delta Dental of Washington, proud supporters of healthy smiles and your Gonzaga Bulldogs. What was that? Jeez. Here's Merrill. 15 on the shot clock.
Gonzaga's been really good in this 2-3 zone the last few minutes. 9-0 run over the last 3 minutes and change.
Ainge back on the floor with the ball. But right at Jakob Larson. He's 7 feet tall.
Block that standing on his tippy toes.
That's an ill-advised drive by Mr. Ainge. Perkins got it to Jakob. Boy, a lot of movement, but in the end, Larson scores.
Yeah, good patience. Taylor does a nice job holding his ground, but you just see the difference in size. Nice touch from Jakob.
Quentin Taylor did what he could do at 6'8". Loose ball. Kispert out of there with it. He leads the break. Should be pointed out, Josh Perkins playing without a mouthpiece tonight. Larson crashing the boards, and he may have been bumped and pushed from behind. I think Quinn Taylor guilty of that. But Perkins without the mouthpiece tonight, gentlemen.
Typically has one.
He does.
Very interesting.
It's usually halfway in, halfway out. That's why we know he's not wearing it tonight.
Hard-hitting journalism, Greg.
We go deep here on this broadcast.
No detail is too small for Mr.
Right.
Heister.
Oh, Larson to Tilly and the hammer.
What a pass. Quick decision for the big fella. Nice touch pass to Tilly for the easy dunk. He had 4 assists the other night against Howard. He's got a great feel for it once he gets it.
Merrill. Henson blocked by Larson. Grabbed by Perkins. The Zags are on the move. And the bump. And the foul called on Brock Miller. You guys are starting to come around on Jakob Larson, aren't you?
Jakob Larson gave great minutes the first 2 games. Early foul trouble tonight, but these last 2-3 minutes, he's made an impact. 2 block shots, a great high-low look that Richard highlighted a second ago, and then a finish through contact.
That's a big kid. He's a lot stronger than he might look on television. A broad base, solid feet, Richard Fox.
He plays hard, he's got good hands, and he's clearly got a really good feel for the game. I mean, he's an excellent passer, and that's something you look for in young big guy. If you've got a young big that can pass the ball, things typically work out for you.
The Zags controlling the boards right now, a +9 in the second half. Kicked by Melson. Utah State ball with 16 seconds on the shot clock.
And what a difference in this half versus the first half, Dan, with where Utah State is having to start their offense. And the first half really able to play right along that 3-point line. Here in the second half, through the last 5 minutes, long passes, 4 or 5 feet off that 3-point line, makes things a lot more difficult.
Zone's been active. They've been better at locating shooters as well.
Brown, Larson the block. Jakob's in a zone. Perkins at the other end. Kispert. He'll shoot free throws.
Jakob Larson igniting the break with a 3rd block shot.
He's so good at keeping his hands up defensively. You see right here, I'm 7 foot, I'll be 7 foot. I'm going to keep my hands up. He doesn't commit silly fouls. And even on his catches, Greg, offensively, you don't see him bring the ball down. Very fundamental player.
And a timeout called by Utah State with 5:19 to play. 75-57. Since about that 5-minute mark of the first half, it's been all Gonzaga as we take a look at what Jakob Larson has brought to this effort here.
In the first half, it was Utah State's bench with 15 points, really providing a lift here. The last 4 or 5 minutes, Jakob Larson has been the difference. 3 blocks. You see what he's done offensively. And, we highlighted it, Dan, at the beginning of the game, the depth, the question of depth for Gonzaga. And now we've seen it now almost 3 games into the year. Despite some unproven talent, they've got a lot of talent. These guys have stepped up. You can kind of see how it's all going to come together.
Well, you saw the potential in individual players, but you didn't know if collectively it would come together as quickly as we think it's coming together. But also, there's been a few surprises. I think Rui's understanding of moving without the ball, Jakob Larson's overall impact or opportunity to impact the game, and quite frankly, Kispert's been really solid. I think we all expected him to have a role, but I think he's been even more solid than expected.
Yeah, Norvell's provided them. He clearly is going to provide them with that scorer off the bench. You need somebody who can come in and create some offense, because you look at Rui, Larson, while they've got some of that, that's not really their role. You look at Norvell, he can come in and he can give you a quick 9 to 12 points in a pretty short stretch with the way he shoots the ball.
And Kispert at the free throw line, 10 points in this game, 4 of 8 shooting. He's perfect in this game, 2 for 2.
8 rebounds, on his way to a double-double.
He's got 5:19 to get it done. And Kispert remains perfect there.
That's a luxury to have, is a big guard who can go down and scratch out rebounds for you. I think if you look at the Kelly Olynyk team that got to be the #1 ranked team, if they had a major flaw, even though they became a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament, was 3 small guards. It was tough to rebound at times for them.
It's a 20-point Gonzaga lead. It's been a domination by GU this second frame.
And a cheap foul, but you're reminded here in the second half, Greg, of what we took away from the first 2 games, which was this team could be pretty special defensively. We didn't see it in the first half. All the credit goes to Utah State. They had a great game plan executed, but here, last 10 minutes in particular, it has been a nightmare for Utah State offensively. Having a tough time just getting easy catches, let alone looks at the rim.
Tilly checks out with 18 points, 8 rebounds.
You know, a question for your depth is, what happens when one of your main guys has foul trouble? Well, we've seen that tonight. Williams really hasn't had much of an impact. Other guys have stepped up.
Brito with 5 on the shot clock, got it to Merrill, but Melson right there to contest it. Isby the offensive rebound and a new clock. And a foul called here on Jakob Larson, and he just puts his arms up like, I'm just trying to defend the post. I didn't see a foul down there, frankly. I was watching Jakob. I like Jakob. I watch him a lot.
Yeah, well, you know, he's a bit
You have no idea what to do with that, do you?
I like him a lot. I mean, he's definitely your favorite. We'll let you have that, but
Dargington at the line. And it's a 19-point game.
Look, I mean, if Jakob can be, it doesn't even have to be this effective against maybe the teams that Gonzaga is going to play next week or Villanova or whoever it might be, but if he can give them an impact, a positive impact, he gives them a little bit of what they had last year with Karnowski and Collins as far as size, length around the rim, more of a traditional center, and he clearly can pass the ball, so you can run a little offense through him for stretches if you need to.
Kispert tried to get it inside. 5 on the shot clock. Larson goes to work. Left-handed jump hook, no good. But it was a good, strong, confident move. .352 to play. Isby.
Really the first time we've seen Utah State get some dribble penetration against that zone. Opens up a decent look on the weak side. There just hasn't been enough of that against this zone of Gonzaga.
And they've done a great job on Isby. He hasn't scored since early in the first half, but I think if you talk about Gonzaga's zone, they've extended it out to the perimeter.
Kispert. That last make by Isby ended a 6-minute, 41-second field goal drought for Utah State. Brito drives, poked away by Jakob Larson. 3:06 to play in Spokane. Gonzaga up big. Bulldog pride with your Go Zags debit card only at Numerica. Well, it's been an entertaining game here tonight. Utah State really threw it at Gonzaga in that first half. Kept it close. GU had a small lead. Time now for play of the game brought to you by Multi-Care Health System, Deaconess Hospital, Rockwood Clinic, and Valley Hospital. Now part of the Multi-Care Health System. Better connected. And that was our multi-care play of the game. Gonzaga's done a much better job defending the perimeter here in the second half. 11 of the last 14 field goal attempts by Utah State have been inside the arc. They just haven't had space out there, Dan.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the other thing that jumps out at me is 3 turnovers on the night for Gonzaga.
It's awesome.
Yeah, really taking care of the ball.
There's D'Angelo Isby. Brito. 10 on the shot clock. Dargenton missed it, got it back, and he's fouled by Jakob Larsson, and Jakob doesn't like the call, and that is number 4 on Jakob.
Well, we talked a bit about how good Gonzaga's zone has been in the second half and how they've extended it. It almost looks as if it's a 3-2 at times or a 1-2-2. With the ability of Larsson to alter and contest some shots in the paint, they've let Jonathan Williams kind of roam a little bit on the perimeter.
So Jakob Larsson checks out, no relation to the great Larry Larson.
Who is Larry Larson?
Google it, Dan. Dargenton at the line.
Larry was a legend.
Larry Legend, that's what I call him, Larry Legend.
Is that a rabbit hole?
There's Silas Melson.
Keep it tight, boys. Keep it tight.
Jonathan whips it to Kispert. Goes for the dunk and can't get it through. Isby just threw Tilly out of the way to grab that loose ball, and he's got it now on the offensive end. Brito for 3. Melson up over Isby. D'Angelo's got to jump if you want to rebound when the Zags are around.
Well, jump is right. I mean, Corey Kispert on that last possession showed a little bit of explosiveness that he's been hiding from this Kennel club. Hopefully we get a chance to take another look at that, because that was impressive even though he didn't finish.
Perkins drives now, throws it up. Brito with the rebound for Utah State. Isby still in control. Well, he had control, got it to Brito. Perkins was flying across the floor. Isby, deep 3. D'Angelo now with 13. Gonzaga's missed their last 4 shots. And Utah State on a 9-0 run. Silas Melson into the paint, hangs. The runner doesn't fall. Tilly the rebound, out to Silas. Tilly with 9 rebounds now to go along with 18 points. And Henson hurting over there for Utah State. I did not see what happened. But Coach Few was over there right away. So was the Gonzaga trainer and the Utah State staff out there as well.
Never like to see that. Trainer looks as if he's taking a look at the knee. Hopefully it's nothing too serious.
So we're going to get another look at it here. Oh. He fell awkwardly as he was battling with Tilly for that rebound. Darren Henson, a redshirt freshman out of Pasadena, is up and moving gingerly to the bench with 53 seconds to play. Utah State doesn't need any more injuries. Of course, playing this game without Kobe McEwen may have made a difference here tonight. He averages almost 14 points a game for the Aggies. He's a big loss. Perkins bounce pass, Tilly finish. Killian with 20. Here's Brown from the elbow. Jump shot, no good. Kispert the rebound. Kispert with his 9th rebound to go along with 12 points. And that's going to be our final score. Gonzaga's going to get to 3-0 with a 79-66 win over the Aggies of Utah State. So Dan, in broad respects, is the coaching staff happy with this win tonight?
Without a doubt. They were challenged, they were tested early on with the barrage of three-pointers by Utah State in the first half. 8 of them, to be exact, in the first half. This is the type of challenge that they needed before next week when they're down in Portland at the PK80.
Because you got to assume when they get to that tournament, the challenges are going to come each and every night. Killian Tilly led Gonzaga with 20 points and 9 rebounds. Once again proving that when Gonzaga needs to go to the physical style of basketball, he's the guy. He was really physical in that second half.
He was, and to Utah State's credit in that first half, they were the ones that were out-physicaling Gonzaga. They were first to lose balls. They were tougher on blockouts. They were early in defensive rotations. Gonzaga met the challenge in the second half, led by Killian Tilly.
Corey Kispert, 12 points and 9 rebounds in a game where he saw his best talent on both ends of the floor, having to play against it and having to defend it. How did he do? And do you think, Dan, he's going to be an elite guard before it's all said and done?
Well, I think he's absolutely got a chance to be an elite guard in this league and maybe even on the West Coast. But as a freshman, you're going to have learning blocks. You're going to have obstacles that you have to overcome. He had a couple breakdowns where he lost track of shooters, in particular Brock Miller twice. And those will be addressed. He'll learn from those. But overall, you love the competitive spirit. You love the willingness to stick his nose in there. And more times than not, he made big plays.
And Dan, coming into the season, I know all the talk was, well, Gonzaga is not going to be very deep. Their starting 5 and maybe another player or 2 after that will be pretty good. This team might be 8, 9, maybe 10 players deep at this point.
Well, I mean, there's always question marks about every team. And the thing about this team is a lot of the guys didn't have experience, or the experience they did have were in roles that they're not going to play this year. And for them to get production out of guys like Kispert, Norvell Jr., Hachimura, and also Kispert, that's big.
All right, we're going to go to Richard Fox now. He's got our player of the game, Mr. Killian Tilly, of course, 20 points, 9 rebounds. Richard, take it away.
Yeah, pretty good effort tonight, Killian, 20 points, 9 rebounds. Talk about, last year you had your defined role. When you come into a game, this season, what are you trying to do? What are you hoping to accomplish?
Yeah, like this season I'm going to have way more minutes than last year, so I'm trying to still bring my energy because that's how I play. And try to rebound hard and score easy baskets. So, yeah, that's it.
Really the first test you guys have had this season. I mean, the first half in particular, they did a nice job on the glass, made some three-point shots. What was the adjustment at halftime? Did it feel good to get tested a bit? A little bit different feel, I'm sure, than the first 3 games.
Yeah, it feels good to be tested. We were struggling a lot beginning of the game and even like through the game. Defensively, they make shots at the beginning, so we had to contest them, but we didn't do the job defensively.
You're used to playing in some big games. Obviously, the tournament last year, you've got some real big games coming next week. What's the message as a leader on the team for some of your young guys? What's the mindset going into that tournament?
Yeah, feels good to be tested before the tournament, so now we're ready to face these big teams. We just got to bring our intensity and rebound hard and guard them.
Congrats. We'll see you in Portland. All right, boys.
Thank you, Richard. And, of course, there with Killian Tilly, our A to Z rental player of this game. And, Dan, now it does get more difficult for Gonzaga. They get into the real meat of this schedule in this tournament that's going to be played down in Portland, the PK80. It's impressive the field that's there. It's impressive how many future NBA players are going to be on those courts. Do you think Gonzaga's ready?
I do, and I think this was the game that they needed. They got through, for lack of a better term, the first 2 games against not stellar opponents, doing enough to get guys comfortable with what they're doing. Today they took a shot in the first half, both physically as well as knocked down 3-pointers from Utah State. They responded in a big way in the second half, but you are right. Ohio State's going to be a bigger challenge. If they can get by them, Florida or Stanford will be a battle. And if they can get through that, there's a good chance Duke and the #1 ranking is looming.
Well, Utah State certainly came to Spokane despite the loss of a key player with the mindset that we're going to win it. They gave Gonzaga their best spot, but before it was all said and done, the Zags win it. For Fox, Dickow, I'm Heister. Good night. from the McCarthy Athletic Center.
I love hockey. And today, coming to Bobcat Stadium, there is an electricity in the air, and today is going to be a fantastic match.
Sort of counterintuitive when you're a defensive football player. And Murray, not